A number of organizations, particularly in the legal profession, have spoken out against the manner in which advocate Malesela Teffo was arrested. The defense lawyer representing 4 of the 5 accused in the Senzo Mewa murder case was handcuffed in front of rolling cameras in the Pretoria High Court last week. Chief Justice Raymond Zondo also condemning the incident, saying it's undermining justice. We're joined by AfriForum private prosecution head, Advocate Gerrie Nel. Advocate Nel, good evening. Thank you for your time. There's been some time to at least process the events of last week and, that arrest that happened in the full glare of cameras. Your own reflections over that moment and the impact that you believe it's going to have on this case going forward.
Good evening, Kathy. It's one of those incidents. I wasn't in court when it happened, but when people told me, I just couldn't believe it. I just thought the police would not stoop that low and that they would act more professionally. And so I was just shocked when I heard what happened. But I just want to make it clear, Kathy, that we all agree warrants should be executed. That's a fact. If people fail to appear in court, they should be addressed. But it's just the timing, the manner in which it was done, and the absolute unprofessionalism of the police. And also, Kathy, if one keeps a warrant in abeyance for 2 months and then walk into a court and arrest an advocate in full glare of all the TV cameras, the only intention could be to embarrass the advocate and not to get him to court. In the meantime, Kathy, the police indicated that they investigated the matter, and I'm now more concerned than ever. As part of the press release, the police said that they discussed it with the Director of Public Prosecutions, and that the Director of Public Prosecutions agreed that they would arrest Advocate Teffo in court after the adjournment. Now, that to me is really shocking. So, Kathy, you also said what the impact of this could be on the trial. The timing of it was so unfortunate. It was on the Thursday when Advocate Teffo made his defense known, and that was one of police complicity on the scene, staging of the scene, and the police were involved. And then the next moment, the police walked into the courtroom, cuffed him, and arrested him. So one can blame no one if they think that that was a deliberate attempt to silence Advocate Teffo. There could have been, arrest could have happened in so many other ways. I just think it was unfortunate, uncalled for, and very unprofessional.
There have been many delays in this case to even get us to the point where we are at today. Later on this month, on the 27th, Advocate Teffo is expected back in court in relation to the matter for which he was arrested. 3 days later, of course, the trial in the Senzo Mewa case is expected to resume. What do any potential delays mean for this case going forward, Advocate Nel? And are you worried about that at all?
I'm definitely worried about any delays. The matter started. It's a significant moment in a struggle of 8 years to get justice. And then for the matter to be delayed again, that would just be horrific. We were in court with our clients on every day. And our main concern is just that it's unbelievably slow. I think it's time that we start this matter, that we run this matter, and that we get to a judgment. I also think that because of the stage in the trial, at this stage, the state is just painting a picture of what happened, what the scene looked like, and I think it would be so much better for everyone and all the conspiracy theories that people are discussing if we get to the substance of the evidence that led to the arrest of the accused, why they were arrested, why the state thinks that they guilty of murder. And the sooner we get there, Kathy, I think the better. And I think the family deserve it. The family deserve closure. They deserve justice. It's been a long struggle for them. And I sincerely hope that we don't have further delays and that the Advocate Teffo's appearance in court occasions a further delay.
Given how big this case has been in South Africa, part of having this as a private prosecution in and of itself also serves as a moment of learning for many South Africans, seeing the process unfold, not very different to what it would in any other court matter.
Yes, Kathy, but this is not a private prosecution. We're just involved in the matter as watching brief on behalf of the family. When we got involved, that was 5 years after the murder of Mr. Mahiwa. There was no development in the matter. There was no communication with the family. We then got involved, Kathy. Our first aspect that we addressed was the team at the time. We were convinced that the team at the time, the police investigating team, that they were incapable of getting any result in the matter. We had very good cooperation with the then Commissioner, Commissioner Sithole. There was a new team appointed. We cooperated with the new team, and that led to the arrest of the 5 people. At the moment, the state is prosecuting. We indicated early on, Kathy, when we got involved, that certainly if the state fails to address any of the accused, that we would approach this and perhaps get involved in the inquest that we thought that time would happen. So this is not a private prosecution. We're just involved with the family.
And at the time that you, of course, were talking about pursuing this matter under private prosecution, you alluded to evidence that you had seen that you felt the state had been downplaying and, in fact, was incorrect in making the decision to not go ahead and prosecute. Now that the details of this trial are becoming more public, is what we're hearing in line with what your own investigations uncovered?
Yeah, nothing that happened in court so far surprised me, and I'm sure it did not surprise the prosecutor in the matter. We all knew what happened on the scene, and we're still dealing with the scene. So we at the first witness in a long trial that would run for months, and I came out saying that I believe this was not a robbery that went wrong, that this was a contract killing, and if it's a contract killing, that one should rather have the contractor, the person that instructed the people to murder Mr. Mahiwa, to also appear in court. Now, the police know who that is. I've shared the views of the police, and so I criticized the state, but we said, now that they have 5 accused, and now that the strategy of the prosecutor is to first prosecute these 5 accused, we support the state, but we would just like to see this matter that is dealt with more speedily, and that we get to the real substance of the matter a bit later.
Advocate, now there's a lot of noise, particularly in the public sphere, about who exactly was behind this killing. Yourself, the advocate for the defense, have alluded to powerful people, influential people, or maybe one person, maybe even more, that were behind potentially the ordering of this hit. Now, that, of course, raises a lot of questions in the minds of South Africans, especially when we see what's unfolded in court with the arrest of Advocate Teffo. Are we going to get to a point in this trial where these influential, high-level people, as they've been termed, where those names are actually put before the court?
It's a very difficult question. We now have the people that committed the crime. So if you really want to understand who instructed them, then they must come out and say that. But because that person is not before court, the likelihood of them indicating who gave them instruction is tantamount to a guilty plea. So we will, during the trial, it will become more clear on what we've been saying over months. But it's way too early for me to allow or say anything or identify any person. But it will become clear. That's why I'm saying that the sooner we get there, Kathy, the better. And I sincerely hope there's no more delays and that we can just run this matter. But we have to know that the matter has now been set down to run from the 30th of May to the 15th of June. And on the 15th of June, the matter will again be postponed. So I don't know when this matter will be finalized, but I certainly hope that it will happen quicker.
Advocate Nel, if these suspects in the matter do not confirm what you suspect to have been the circumstances that led to Senzomewa's murder, would you at some point be open with the public about what it is that you know?
Kathy, that's a very difficult question. I don't think I will be able to do that because I would not want to prejudice any further matters. Because if this is a contract killing, we have to accept that there will be further trials, that the mastermind will be charged and prosecuted later. So, no, it will be very difficult for me to do that. It's one of those interesting matters where we, the police, even the Minister of Police, we all agree on who this mastermind is, but the state decided to follow a strategy of prosecuting the shooters or the people involved in the killing and to then later attempt to prosecute the mastermind.
So given the fact that you know, as you're saying, who this alleged mastermind is, what do you make of Advocate Teffo's claims that, you know, the behavior of the police, and he's been very clear in pointing out the police minister, this is Begikele, of being involved, and senior police management of being involved in trying to protect whoever this individual is?
Let me just say that I informed my clients not to get excited about the defense that was identified and to rather focus on the evidence that will come later. So if that answers your question, I hope that will suffice. I indicated to my clients that lots have been said and lots will be said, but later the truth will, or not the truth, but evidence will come out to indicate what the real case is, what the real merits of the case is. So the only way, Kathy, unfortunately, I can respond to your question is to say that I informed my clients not to be concerned about what was put.
So effectively, we should take whatever we've heard in court now with a pinch of salt, more to come.
You said it, Kathy. I did not. What I said is I think there will be more evidence that indicates the merits of the case a bit later.
All right, let's leave it there for tonight. AfriForum Private Prosecution Head, Advocate Gerrie Nel. Thanks for joining us for this conversation.